We're very proud to be able to introduce the new Migros.ch, which took us quite a while to implement. And well, my name is Christian Birke. I manage digital communications projects within the marketing communications department at Migros. And actually, the first thing I had to do for Migros was to write the initial briefing for the relaunch of Migros.ch. So you could say that it took me about 2 years to bring this baby to life, along with all the wonderful colleagues, and together with Aperto and a few other people we work with.
I'm Axel Klingelhöfer. I work for Aperto as a client director for the client Migros. Aperto has been working for Migros as a Magnolia partner since the initial migration in 2010. And we were appointed digital lead agency for the relaunch in 2014 after a pitch. And are responsible for the strategy, design, UX, and Magnolia implementation of the new website.
Exactly. First of all, some really quick facts concerning Migros.ch. As already mentioned, we're talking about 5,500 pages. We're talking about 3 languages and 3 million visits per month. And the Migros is the ubiquitous company in Switzerland. There is almost not a single business field in which Migros is not active, and all of this has to be managed by Migros.ch, which is why there's about 70 editors involved in loading up content onto the site. And with the new Migros.ch, we also wanted to take a step towards a full responsive website, because it's just not efficient to have 2 content streams. Personalization is being implemented. We have our first cases that are already working on the website, but that is definitely the next big step for Migros.ch. So right now we're working together with all our partners and internally with all the stakeholders to get this going properly. For the first time, we fully integrated a personal section for users, which is combined with the customer loyalty program. What does this mean? Well, in essence, we want to provide a one-stop place for Migros customers to be able to use all the digital services provided. Just quickly, the 3 points we want to address today. First of all, what is Migros? And what is the role of Migros.ch within the Migros universe? And finally, some learnings and takeaways concerning how to organize a relaunch like this, and what the challenges are, and how Magnolia helped us as well. The origins of Migros. Migros was always a company that has always been very close to its customer. Here we can see this is how Migros brought food to its customers. Migros actually went everywhere. They stopped somewhere, and they were selling directly out of that truck. So what does this mean? It means that Migros has always had a very personal relationship to its customers. And when trying to search for the vision for the relaunch or for the website, this is where we started. It's about providing customers with all the relevant information when they want it, which is a step forward from going to every street with that nice truck. And that's basically where Migros comes from. Migros is a cooperative, which means that there's 10 autonomous regions. And this poses another great challenge from an organizational and a process perspective, because everything you do has to be coordinated with 10 other people who have your job. So that kind of makes it an organizational well, feat. Well, anything, every campaign is an organizational feat in Migros because you coordinate it with 10 regions. Another thing that characterizes Migros is the vast canvas of brands and services and businesses that Migros encompasses. And some of these play a larger role on Migros.ch than others. But the goal was to provide an infrastructure that is flexible enough for completely different businesses to find some use with Migros.ch and with the new framework that we've built for quickly being able to put out new websites and new services online. And from a strict branding perspective, Migros is definitely one of Switzerland's favorite brands. In Switzerland, the nation is divided in two sections. There's the Migros-Kinder and the Coop-Kinder. And what does this say? It basically means that since childhood, people are very loyal to these brands, and people have known these brands almost all their life. So we really have high expectations that we have to meet in terms of a brand experience. Another important aspect about Migros and Migros.ch was the incorporation of the online aspects or the digital aspects of the Cumulus loyalty program. We are in the luxurious position to have almost full market penetration in Swiss households with this program, which basically means we know a lot about offline transactions, about transactions that happen in supermarkets and other shops. But the challenge is combining this with online behavior of customers. And that is one of the main objectives, basically. The online usage of the services provided by Cumulus is increasing a lot, and we'll get into that a bit later. And every company in the Migros universe has the opportunity to basically take part in the Cumulus program, and lots of them do. So we're really talking about something that spans very many different customer needs, and something that customers use extensively, which brings us in a very unique position to be able to use this in the provision of online services on Migros.ch. Now let's get to the point of why. Why did we want to relaunch the website? Well, basically, it looked like 1994 in the World Wide Web, and we wanted to get a bit away from that. The navigation was very complex. Some people say it's still complex. I disagree, but as Migros progressed digitally in the past, many more companies within the Migros universe or the Migros group wanted to be a part of Migros.ch simply due to the basically immense free reach you could have with the Swiss population. So when you keep on adding bits and pieces to something as big as Migros.ch, well, you don't always get to put them where they should go. So that was another reason for us to take the step forward and to think about that again. And well, the final point was that not all websites were responsive. We were feeding two separate channels with content, and the mobile channel was did not provide the same content as the desktop channel did in the past. Now, today, we are, I'd say, 99% independent of that. I think there's just very few little bits and pieces that come from external services that aren't fully responsive, but just wait and we'll be in the 100% soon enough. Okay. Now, our objectives for the relaunch is basically digital marketing communications, well, in a state-of-the-art form. The first point is from a business perspective, most relevant one, measurable additional revenue. And additional revenue is nice, but measurable. It has to be measurable. Because internally, you're always trying to justify expenditures in digital communications channels. Yes, that still exists. But our only way out of that dilemma was actually showing the business value of what we wanted to do. And that is where we almost are. We're basically implementing tracking functionalities that enable us to combine on and offline behavior. Generating new leads and customers is always good, especially for services that haven't been used so much in the past. And definitely online to online, yes, that is what we've always been doing, but now measuring the online to offline conversion. What is the value of a customer that opens a product detail page on your website versus a customer that doesn't? Well, we're quantifying that. Increasing customer retention, helping the customer prepare their shopping experience in the best possible way, that helps you retain customers and just generally ensuring good experiences. And finally, increasing efficiency of the marketing communications processes. I remember a time where small campaigns with not so much traffic used to get own websites that were built up from scratch. If possible, we don't ever want to do that again because theming is possible and there are modular ways of putting together websites that basically address most requirements, most stakeholder requirements. So those are the 4 objectives that we have with this relaunch. And even though the website's live now, this is an ongoing task. We went straight from relaunching the site to continuous development. There was no break, which is basically how you do it nowadays. And now I would just like to pass on to Axel, who will tell us a bit more about the seamless omni-channel experience.
Thank you, Christian. Yes, so for us, in order to achieve those objectives and design a future-proof solution, it was important to think about the bigger vision that goes beyond the website, which is eventually creating a seamless omni-channel experience across all touchpoints. So customer expectations are rapidly evolving, and they are defined by the last best experience that the customer has made. They don't distinguish much between online and offline or different industries. They simply expect great service and an integrated experience at every single interaction with the brand. So for retailers, the ability to leverage contextual and customer data in order to provide that seamless and activating experience is becoming a very important source for competitive advantage. Obviously, this takes much more than just a responsive website relaunch. However, main brand websites like the Migros.ch are usually the most frequented ones and often also the initial digital touchpoints in the customer journey that set the course for where the customer continues the journey. So what does this mean for Migros.ch? We identified 4 key requirements that the new website needs to be delivering in order to set the foundation for an omni-channel experience. So one is a consistent brand experience, which strengthens the Migros brand values, especially on digital touchpoints. As we have seen on the old website, it's not very emotional. The complexity of the site had to be reduced in order to make sure that all relevant user groups find an entry point into the new site that makes them continue their journey. In order to increase customer retention and conversion, it's important that the new platform supports personalization. And last but not least, we wanted to provide a very modular solution to allow for a flexible framework for content marketing and also for a more modular approach to personalization. In the next couple of slides, I will just show you a bit more about how we approach those 4 points. For digital design, it had to bring the brand values of love, trust, uniqueness, Swissness, and freshness to life. So we introduced a new aesthetical approach to the Migros.ch, which creates a sense of freshness and an emotional shopping experience, which is already in place in some of the print channels. So we want to basically get the brand also more consistent in that sense. We use large-scale imagery that reflects the warmth, clarity, and emotion of the brand. And by the use of classic Swiss typography, bold and clear interface elements, and animations, we set a contemporary style for the Migros brand on the digital touchpoints. A friendly tonality combined with elements of personalization add a personal touch to the browsing experience as well. The new icon system we designed for the website resonated very well with Migros, and at the moment they're evaluating if they do a pilot to test if the system can be rolled out to physical stores as well. So it's not there yet, but it's definitely, we will push for getting it on the way to have a more consistent experience. Overall, the new responsive design is designed for 5 breakpoints for a consistent experience across all relevant devices and also ready for rollout to further touch points. The next chapter is intuitive user guidance. As you have seen from Christian's introduction, Migros is huge. So one of the biggest challenges for us was to find a suitable approach that makes sure every relevant user group finds his way into the website. So we introduced comfortable, large-scale on-canvas navigation that provides a broad selection of entry points into all relevant site sections. We positioned the search component prominently above the navigation because users are rapidly adopting search as a navigation option, and also because this is the standard for mobile, so there's also more consistency here. In addition to the navigation, we introduced 3 prominent entry points for the main use cases, which are shopping, finding information about the Migros group, and the new personal section where you find all your online self-services. The entry pages for all those sections provide a quick and easy digestible overview of the relevant contents and services, which is especially important for explorative users, but also for mobile users in general. The content navigation is optimized with a systematic cross-linking based on a network concept to make sure that when users exploratively browse via the content, they always can continue the journey in relevant places. Yes, so if you want to provide a personalized experience, obviously it's important that you're able to recognize the customer and know about his previous choices and interactions with the brand. So from an omni-channel perspective, one of the main objectives for Migros.ch is to convert anonymous users to logged-in customers so we can actually serve that experience.
Concerning the universal login, let's put it this way. This is a huge challenge, and we're still not done. And basically, this involves so many different stakeholders and different functional areas of the company that really the full final version is still in development, to be completely honest. Until we have every campaign using this as an entry point, it's going to take a lot of effort. But what has worked very, very, very well is by starting with the Migros app. And app users are automatically registered. And then seeing how the interplay works between somebody using the app and somebody using the website. What are the services provided in that channel versus that channel? How do you provide, add value to the customer as a whole? And so slowly, all the channels are starting to implement this universal login, which has one branding which always looks the same, which basically provides the basis for everything we want to do in the future. It's the one point that combines online with offline behavior. And without that, anything that is omni-channel customer journey tracking is nearly impossible. So this single sign-on definitely, given that it provides enough value to the customer, is something that is adopted. But you have to definitely give something to the customer that is worth the adoption and use. So that is one of the big challenges, just bringing it all together into one coherent system that makes sense to the customer. And that's an organizational-wide effort, definitely.
And on the website, we introduced a personal section called Meine Migros. And once you register, the users have access to their personal information and all the relevant services that Migros offers online in one place. So with one click, they can manage their personal user account, they can browse offers and products, create shopping lists, and also activate coupons and vouchers, load them to their Cumulus card, and view the purchases of the last 24 months. So once you have information about the customer or the context, you want to start using it to provide an activating experience that converts the users. And since in food retailing, the online sales share still average around below 2%, the main objective for Migros.ch is to drive people to the local stores. So on the new website, the user can easily assess the store search via the header component and set his favorite store. This information gets persisted even without a login and is then prominently displayed on the home page and is also used to present localized offers across the site. On product pages, the user can check the availability of the products in his favorite stores. If he has already set his favorite store, the information is displayed immediately. He also has the option to look in other nearby stores in case his favorite store doesn't have the product available, which is more relevant for the specialty retailers like furniture, where items might not be available in every outlet. So in summary, the new Store Finder application provides easy access to over 1,000 Migros outlets. And it's just one example of how we can use basic contextual data to provide a more seamless and activating experience. We designed the solution in a very modular way for Migros because they wanted to have the flexibility to flexibly play content and also reuse content across the platform. And yeah, as I said before, it's also beneficial when you think about personalization that you're very flexible and modular. Editors have access to a comprehensive catalog of over 200 components that they can combine in different ways and on over 20 templates. And in the initial migration that was done at Aperto, this approach already helped us a lot to respond to constantly changing content requirements. Editors can use the global teaser pool to align and synchronize messaging across the page and also to improve the general efficiency of their processes. Then in order to provide consistent experience, it's also very important that data and business rules are only implemented once and then used across the site. And also from management perspective, it's also very important that you can clearly define the ownership of technical domains when you work with multiple implementation partners. So for Migros.ch, we chose a simple but still a very effective approach to integrate third-party systems like the product catalog or the store finder. We provide header and footer as fragments to those external pages, which still assures a consistent user experience while allowing us to keep the technical domains separated. Also, I have to say that the component itself is actually also quite complex because we had to integrate some external front-end widgets like the shopping list or the login button into the fragment before we could deliver it to our partners. Another example is the component that is used to display offers and products across the page. So this component basically pulls the content from a central source, including the HTML and CSS, to make sure that these items are always displayed exactly in the same design and meet the pretty strict guidelines from Migros for this kind of information, because it also needs to be in line with what's communicated at the stores. Then don't worry, we were told not to go into detail, and I couldn't anyhow. I just want to give you a quick overview of where Magnolia sits in the architecture and the main data flows. So basically, most of the information around product, offers, or customer and cumulus data is available via the central service layer and the MRP. In case of product categories, we are currently building a feature to extend this information with specific display labels and icons that are only used at the website or plan to be used on the website so far. Then we have other information like news or contact information that is created in Magnolia with content apps that is sent back to the data layer so it can be surfaced via the MRP to other applications like the newsroom. And I guess in general, a lot of this also happens in the front end when there's no data manipulation. So we have many front end widgets that make AJAX calls to those systems as well. All right, so once you have established this new design and brand design and experience, and you have built this flexible platform, you want to start thinking, how can I roll it out to other relevant touch points? Therefore, we developed a toolkit for smaller brand websites in parallel to the relaunch that is using the same code base as the Migros.ch website, but also allows for applying custom themes per CMS client to give each label and brand its unique style while still being consistent with the overall grid and components. Up until now, we have launched 25 sites with the system, and we're able to significantly reduce operational costs and time to market. Yes, with this, I will hand over again to Christian to tell us how happy he is with the new platform.
I'm ecstatic. Of course, of course. But I'm never quite satisfied. Okay, where are we today? I think the big step was surviving the big bang. It was a big bang relaunch. And not, even though we worked with use cases and development was iterative, once we came out, it was a big bang, and the philosophy was fix forward. So once again, when we've got the 5,500 pages, we got rid of a couple of thousand, which was great. And the new structure helped us avoid certain page graveyards that we used to have. Everything used to be behind supermarket / whatever. And these pages were often used as a simple landing pages. So now we have, conceptually, we have a place for every requirement. Product news is news. It's not a landing page anymore. Just a small example. Well, we have the flexible, scalable, modular toolbox in that sense, which we just saw that allows a theming of different sites, which allows actually addressing individual stakeholder demands. Certain brands need certain features, and we can provide them in a standardized way. Concerning personalization, contextualization, yes, there is. Some of it is implemented, but that is basically one of the big projects right now, where we really want to scale this, and we want to learn more about it and see what works and what doesn't. Customer journey tracking capabilities, all depending on the single sign-on that we're using. That is definitely something we know it works, and now we want to ramp it up. Exactly, time to market and business efficiency have increased. So not every project manager needs to build his own website with a new with a new agency. Where are we going? Okay. The idea is to allow different businesses and different areas of Migros to take part in Migros.ch. So we provide various ways of providing them with digital space and services. But then again, the big conceptual leap towards something like Mine Amigo, which is the personal user space, it is a big conceptual leap. And we need to increase usage. We need to get more people actually receiving the benefits. And that's where we're putting a lot of work into. And especially to see how Magnolia fits into this whole personalization idea. Because up to right at this moment, I don't think there's a best practice for personalization on websites. There's different approaches involving ad servers, native with Magnolia, there's Google Optimize. There's so many different routes that you can take. And right now, we want to explore them all with Magnolia as a basis, because that's what we're working with, and it's proven its worth. And of course, the toolkit for themed websites is just continuously growing, because financially, right now, all we have to do is expand on what is already there. Exactly. And concerning Magnolia, well, it integrates. And you saw the chart with the complex infrastructure. It integrates, and what I can say from my technical colleagues is that, the application works. And I can see they're smiling, so I'm happy. Exactly. And the modular approach, definitely, okay, we have proof of concept concerning that. And editorially speaking, it was a big step forward with the relaunch. The multi-client capabilities, I think we all know the value of that, and that's also working. Okay, lessons learned. You need a vision, a vision that you can sell to your stakeholders internally. You need to say, that's where we want to go, and people are going to challenge it, and people are going to try to push in their agendas, stick to your vision, and have clear criteria for why you're doing something and why not. Because otherwise, you're just always going to end up justifying your actions, and nobody wants to justify actions that are completely obvious to you. So think about that. That's just one thing I can say concerning the experience with this relaunch. The iterative approach based on use cases, that works also really well as a selling point within the organization, just to get away from waterfall development, just to say, okay, let's make this customer-centric. And of course, the use of shared components. That is really what drives business efficiency and reduces costs. Concerning the design, again, a clear mandate for design leadership. These are some things that you have to learn the hard way, because there's always very many people involved, and design is not something where you can say, at least before you've launched it, you can say this works better than that. No, you're always having subjective arguments avoid having subjective arguments with people. Just say, this is design leadership. Talk to everybody about it, but this has to be clearly defined. Otherwise, you just lose time and energy. And make sure to know who to ask at what level in the organization. And you need the right organizational structure for that, or the right project setup. I'm talking steering boards, newsletters. These are some things that are very politically motivated, but concerning a project this big, well, projects this big are always politically motivated. So, and during migration, check and recheck again.